let's rip the Band-Aid off. And it was a big one. The United Motorsports moment of the offseason for sure is the injury of Jett RV. And I don't know, like I'm bummed for all of the fans. I'm bummed for him. It's a pretty big blow for sure. And like where do you stand with that? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal for everybody, like you said, fans, for Honda, for Jett, the family, the whole thing. It kind of seems like I wouldn't call it back-to-back injuries, but yeah, for sure, ACL, a couple different little nagging injuries, and then boom, this ankle talus injury. As if anybody doesn't know, obviously, the guys that do know, or the people that do know about the talus, it's not the best one to break in your foot. That's for sure. It takes some time to heal. I presume we'll see him back. Maybe not for round one of outdoors, but definitely I believe he will be back for outdoors, and then obviously SMX. That's kind of the beauty of where we sit now with our sport and our racing, is it's not just Supercross is out. And even if he doesn't make round one for outdoors, there's that third championship, which is kind of that crown jewel, which is SMX, right? So there is things on the books for him championship wise that he can get back to. But I just think with the whole scope of it, everything that the Lawrences have gone through in the past, say 12 to 24 months, definitely not it was a big blow, I bet, for them, but for Jett also.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I wanted to get like your opinion on this. As far as, I mean, you think of his career so far, and like the beginning of it in the 250 class, and then early on in the 450, the premier class, and like that flame was so high, and there's still a lot, a lot of buzz around him. He brings a lot to the table. He's super talented, and the potential there, like at some stage I feel bad for him, because you talk about 72 wins and 7 championships like the King has, and when you start missing these seasons, it's you can't get those back. And what does that look like? And it's more time off the bike, and like that's what's so impressive about MC. Like, do you feel like the flame was burning too high, or is this just by happenstance? Like where are your thoughts on that, and what the future looks like for him?
I mean, I think the future still is very, very bright. But as you went through it, Ricky, I went through it. I think James, all of the top athletes go through that, winning so many races, winning championships, and then keeping that flame burning, and then throwing these injuries in there. I think, like when I did my ACLs, yeah, they were, I'll use that as an example. Like the time off was almost needed, but I think in his position currently, like, coming back kind of mid-season and then racing and winning, but then obviously this ankle injury now, it totally botched that Supercross, that drive, that motivation to get back. Okay, it's great. We won some races, we got hurt, we won some races, we came back, we know we're still in this game, and then having your focus set on 2026 for Supercross championship, and then boom, 3 weeks before. So that's probably got to be a huge blow. I think with Jett's talent, with the situation that he is in, I think the flame is still burning. I mean, he's in rare air, that's for sure, and also at a very young age, dealing with all the outside noise, the pressure, I think you dealt with it. I know I personally dealt with, like, when am I going to lose? Not lose from an injury though, straight up lose, right? That's the difference. Losing from an injury is it's almost like a handicap. It doesn't hit you the same way as straight up losing. So, I think coming back, he will be strong, but it opens, I guess, if there's the beauty in it, if you want to call it beauty, is it opens up the rest of the field. Now there's sharks in the water that everybody, I can guarantee you coming into Anaheim 1 is looking like, okay, Jett's out. And now, there's race wins to be had. There's championships that guys now think that, okay, now I, even have a better shot, that Jett's gone.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right there. When I think of, what Jett is going through, I will say this before you just brought up something super awesome. I definitely think Jett's being tested mentally, dude. Like 2 blows.
Sure.
He lost last Supercross season. Now this Supercross season, I mean, let's just say on that's 6 to 7 wins he didn't get last year, possibly another 6 to 7. That could be on the low end. And it just, I go back to, you can't get those back. But fast forward, like to what you're saying, it opens up the door for everyone. And I almost wonder, from a speed perspective, like in my day, I'd be like, if Stu went out, I'm like, okay, well, now I don't have to worry about getting beat by speed. And that is so hard to beat, is speed. And he's good, like he's consistent and all that, unless he's hurt. But I feel like you said, it opens up the door. It's anybody's game. And I think, consistency is always the key, as you know, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be about being the fastest guy all the time, where you're going to have to be the fastest, in my opinion, to beat Jett in the championship.
Yeah. I mean, Cooper Webb's a great example of that, right? Rarely is he the fastest guy, but was able to win last year for the championship of Supercross, but he wasn't that fastest guy, and back to Jett about, like, once he does get back on the bike, I dealt with a lower leg injury. I was lucky enough when I got on the bike, like I did have no pain, no real restrictions from the riding standpoint of it. But he has broken a different bone, the talus and the navicular, that's in your ankle. And like I said, those are some pretty important bones down there that take a while to heal, and sometimes have trouble healing. So it's going to be interesting to see when he does get back on the bike. How is it? I only presume best doctors, best physio guys, Doc G. I'm assuming he'll be coming back firing on all cylinders, and there'll be nothing really hindering him from that lower leg. But you just never know.
No, you don't. He came back from his ACL really, really fast. So,
Yes,
there's a lot of great technology out there. As you talked about Doc G, he'll be on it. That there's a lot of technology out there that enhances the recovery time compared to certainly when I tore my ACLs and when you tore yours. So, it sucks for him. Again, I'm bummed for the fans. I'm bummed for him. It's always sucks when you have the icon go out before. And again, he's being tested for sure. And availability is so important, dude. It is so important. You got to be there to win, and it's a bummer. And I think with him gone, kind of switching gears, who do you feel like? Do you ever feel like because he's gone, it takes, well, for sure, it takes some pressure off of the guys, but do you almost feel like they need to stay more focused because maybe they lost some focus that he's gone, and like they're just completely centered on him? I don't know. What do you think?
To answer that question, I think they need to stay more focused, like you just said, just because I feel like once that the heavy hitter, the main player is out, confidence rises in the rest of the field, from let's call it from second to 10th place, 8th place, right? Everybody that has a chance to win a main event, let's say, and then from the main event, it narrows down to say 2 or 3 or 4 that are going to be in the position at the end of the season to win a championship. So I think their perspective on things potentially or do change, because they're like, okay, the main player's out. Now, we know the fastest, call it fastest guy, like you just said, fastest lap times, typically the fastest guy on the track is out. So I think that's where it opens up the playing field for guys like Coop and Jason Anderson and Eli Tomac and the rest of the field that are like, okay, that's just one less dude I have to think about.
Yep.
And let alone, And it goes into the back of their head of being like, okay, well, I know I can beat this guy. Eli's like, I know I can beat Hunter, or Hunter's like, I know I can beat the rest of the field. Jett was the question mark.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see just how it shakes out.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports. If you enjoyed what you just watched, well, it's time to bring the action and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel. You can have it all: news, highlights, interviews, and analysis. So go for it.